1976, which includes subdivisions. And so my point to that is we have to look at those types of things, because that's what they, correct me if I'm wrong, Joseph, that's what they as developers look at, is what are your subdivision regulations, what are your zoning regulations, what are your, and part of what we're trying to accomplish through the comp plan is addressing some of these things and making sure that the developer understands the rules to the game, and we also understand that, you know, that we're gonna impose these rules. So, anyway, that's.
So, Councilman Leal?
Oh, no, I'll do the roll.
Okay, all right, so what it is, we've got a motion and a second, and his application is three-pronged. The first one is to allow variance from the right-of-way from 60 to 50. The second one is to allow him to put in a block that's 350 feet, which is different from the 500 at a minimum. And then the third would be, of course, Schedule 40, which we want. So that is what is encompassed with your motion. If, you know, we're going to vote now. If you guys have a problem, you can vote yea or nay, but your vote for it will be to accept this, and your vote against this will be to deny it. So at this point, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any other questions?
I just have one more question.
Councilman Rodriguez.
On the 40 PVC, like people that have built new houses here within the last 6 months, do they use that?
Schedule for this.
So why would we need an amendment on that?
Because that's what the ordinance says.
The ordinance
We
says
need to
that.
change the ordinance.
So yeah, and it is.
Because I know we've given people a hard time to build if they weren't using certain pipes or,
We're talking,
The-
and this is,
PVC.
what we're talking about is public property, not private property. What he's referring to is stuff that we're gonna own. Private property, when people build their stuff, yeah, they have to meet plumbing regulations. He on this
so
end.
are we gonna be using the same kind of pipe that we require private owners to build?
We're using, go ahead.
Clay pipe is no longer allowed to be used. It's been obsolete for many, many years. We use Schedule 40 for sewer and C900 for water, the city of Pearsall.
So we're only amending this because it's the ordinance that's written now?
Yes,
Exactly.
Okay.
It's
It's back
antiquated.
to
We need
1976.
to change.
Okay, then we need to
And-
put that on the next agenda, because I don't want to, if we're making a change for our property because the city owns it, and we give somebody that's building privately a hard time about it, but if we're only changing it because that's what we're now using, I'm okay with that. But we need to put that on, we shouldn't have waited. If we needed to change this, we've known this for a while now. We should have changed it a long
As I
time ago.
mentioned, there's a lot of changes in subdivision regulations, including this, including lots, including, kind of, a lot of stuff he's referencing. The subdivision regulations totally needs to change. And that's why I'm saying through the comprehensive plan, I'm not gonna ask the council the next month or two to approve an entire change of the whole subdivision regulation.
Okay, very good. Any other, Councilman? Any other? Okay, that being the case, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of this with the three approvals, raise your hand, please. We got, all against? Nobody. Okay, motion passes unanimously. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you all very much, and I will see you again soon.
All right, so.
Mayor Bristow, I would like to let you know that at 6:50, Lionel Bandera did log on.
Okay.
He logged off a little bit shortly after due to some technical difficulties, but he did log on.
Okay, you made a note.
Yes.
Mayor, are we able to log on? I didn't know we were able to utilize Zoom.
Yeah.
Just let it on record.
He checked in this morning.
Okay.
But, anyway, moving on to item 8B, discuss and consider authorizing the city manager to enter into a professional service agreement with Simon R. Pena SRP and Associates LLC for research, discussion, and presentation on the possible sale of the Pearsall gas distribution system. This is an action item. Let's call for a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Hernandez, a second. Second by Councilwoman Talamontes. At this point, I'm going to turn the floor over to Fred. And we have with us Mr. Simon Pena, and he'll have the floor in just a moment. Okay.
Mayor and council, in your packet on page 23, you find the proposal from Mr. Pena. I'll give you a little history. Mr. Pena has been helping the city out with our gas distribution system for I don't know how many years. 20 years. And so part of what we are proposing tonight is to move forward again, not with the sale of the gas system, but to do some legwork regarding, research and data that we need to collect to allow the council to make a decision on on, on potentially selling the gas system. Now, the reason for that is this, right now, we have well over, I think it's, how many water customers we have here?
2950.
Almost 3,000 water customers. Over the course of several years, the gas system has lost customers and not added very many customers. We have about 800 and something accounts, I believe. 835 accounts of gas. So what that is, in essence, council, is fewer customers, not as much demand. We still have to pay for the gas system. We have to pay for the gas that's being used for those customers. And what's happened over the course of the years is any revenue loss or any significant capital improvements to the gas system, in essence, has to be paid through another source of the water distribution system, particularly in the gas and the wastewater system. So, in a nutshell, the gas system is, you know, it's had a tough time over several years to operate in the black. They've operated in the red. We've done some capital improvements. The other thing is as we move forward with is, and Simon and Rudy are here to talk to you guys about this as well. Rudy's worked on the gas side for over 40 years. And the challenges now with the Railroad Commission and their requirements have gotten tougher. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's my understanding. There's several things that I know the council doesn't see on their end, but that we have to do for the Railroad Commission and their requirements to keep this system going. So I know that there will be questions, but in that case, like I said, Simon's here if you want to speak to a little bit to Simon and what this entails, and maybe some of the other smaller systems that are considering this. And I say smaller systems, gas systems that are considering this and have done this. So I just want to.
Good question.
Yes, sir, Councilman Leo.
The new home being built, are they gonna be on gas?
We've talked about that. We've
Because
talked
that'd
about
be
that.
great revenue for the city.
Yeah, we've talked about that. He's also discussed the idea of solar. So we've talked about gas systems. He doesn't have to put in gas, just like any other person.
Right.
But it's something that I know he's looking at, but I don't know that he's committed to gas.
Councilwoman Rodriguez.
Out of those 835 gas accounts, which are the three biggest gas holders?
I believe the prison is one. Where you going the other? School prison. The school has some accounts, and those are the two biggest. I know school district and for sure the prison.
Okay. So, if everything were to go right, if we were to collect on the gas makes the city money.
I would disagree, but in saying that.
Why would you disagree?
Because you have to consider loss, you have to consider gas loss, and just like you do water loss. So in this case, like nobody sells us water, we own the water system,
Okay.
right? We have to purchase gas from a company, West Texas Gas.
And you have to
So-
buy in so much, you have to
so-
buy in bulk, or
so-
you can buy it for what you're utilizing?
The utilization, it's basically, we buy, and so when you do that, we have the loss, and so it's like, okay, so what accounts for the loss?
So
Because
why
we're
do we
buying-
have those losses? Because we've been talking about the gas loss for the last 15
Yeah.
years that I've been here.
Exactly.
Okay, so why are we losing gas and have not fixed it?
I'm saying over the course of several years, there's been a problem, and I keep saying this.
Where's the
with
problem?
meters. I'm saying it's with the meters. That's my opinion,
It's with what, I'm sorry?
with our gas meters.
How many meters have been replaced?
You replaced them all, I believe, in 2014,
Exactly.
but I think there's still issues. And that's my opinion. Again, I got here in 2019, and I'm
Is
saying,
it whoever's reading them is the problem, or we got bad gas meters in 2014?
I think it's a combination of poor training, it's my opinion, installation, whoever administered that when those meters were installed, I believe it was poor administration, in my opinion. But we're
Those
trying,
gas meters are 7 years old, they cost us a lot of money.
they still,
We service two big companies, organizations, the jail
Yep.
and the school.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mayor and council members. For the record, my name is Simon R. Pena, Jr. I am the managing partner and the principal consultant for Simon R. Penny and Associates, and I'm based out of San Antonio. My whole background, I've been in the gas utility pipeline industry, in regulatory primarily for over 35 years. I've helped cities, private and publicly owned gas companies, pipeline companies throughout the US and internationally. So primary practice of mine is pipeline safety because I used to work for the Texas Railroad Commission in the Office of Pipeline Safety, so that's my claim to fame. And then I ran a gas company for 8 years, so I'm very familiar with the operations of a gas company and the regulatory requirements. And so my primary practice has been helping cities and gas companies and pipeline companies stay in compliance with federal, primarily, DOT under the Pipeline Hazardous Materials Safety Administration is the federal entity that oversees gas companies throughout the country. And then in Texas, the Texas Railroad Commission, Office of Pipeline Safety, promulgates those federal regulations along with additional state requirements. So in recent years, the first experience I had with selling a gas system, it was not an easy decision, was the city of Divine. And it was a brand new system. It had been all replaced and everything. But the city itself and the council and mayor decided that they did not want to go forward in operating the system. They wanted to go to the resources, put their resources in other parts of the community, and therefore they went to the voters, asked for permission to see if they could consider selling it, and the voters of Divine gave them that permission. Then there was a little no. In the last couple of years, actually the uptake of cities going to the voters has been pretty ratcheted up. And there's a lot of reasons for it, really. Last November, the city of George West, my hometown, the city of Three Rivers, got voter approval to sell their utilities. We are in the final stages of the city of Three Rivers selling their gas system to CenterPoint Energy, one of the larger gas companies in the state of Texas. George West is still going through the process. In May of this year, the city of Stockdale got approval from their citizens to sell the utility. And so we just issued a request for proposals. We should have those completed by around August. Other cities that are going through the phase that what Fred is proposing, and that's the first item, is to look at and do the research as to whether the city wants to go to the next phase. That is taking it to the citizens. And of course, you need to have the facts. You need to know where the status of the system is, the sustainability of the gas system, and what does the community want to do with the gas utility going forward. A lot of problem is that it's a service that's not required. You've got to have electricity, you've got to have water, wastewater, but natural gas is an optional utility. And so that's why a lot of cities are losing customers because they don't really market their gas system. Yes, ma'am.
Mayor,
Yes.
how many jobs will we lose if we sell the gas company? Because we have guys and girls that just work gas. So how many will we lose? Because we would have to cut them because they do gas.
I'm saying on that, and my recommendation to the council would be not to eliminate those people. I'm saying that there's other, believe me, there's other work,
Okay, but
particularly.
how many
like
would we lose in the
six.
gas department?
6.
6.
Yes, ma'am.
Are those six salaries, are they budgeted in any other salary, in any other category?
Not right now, no.
Okay. And out of those 6 employees, how many of those have we sent off for certification for those meters?
I believe for the meters, I don't know that there's.
Well, to read them and to work they go for
I don't know
training.
as far as reading certification on meters, but I know that they know how to do them. I'll let them speak to that.
We got automated reader on his meter,
I'm sorry,
on the gas meter, we got.
That's like-
You know, we said
Automatic meter reading is what he has with the meters.
Okay.
We got into automatic readers.
So we have, 6 guys and we just have the automatic readers? They drive by or?
Yes,
Good drive-by,
yes.
and electric water.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we're saying really is that the first thing we need to do is go and do the research and get the facts, financial facts, how it would impact the city, and then bring that information over to the council. And then the council can decide whether it wants to go to the next process. I can tell you from experience, since you did ask the question, with all the other cities that did sell the utility, all the employees were actually integrated back into the city. Nobody got actually laid off from any of the cities that I worked with. So they actually created, or they integrated them into the other operations of the utility. So, you know, that, I can tell you that from experience.
We all do have different budgets.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you from my experience from the other utilities, the other cities that sell the utility. I'm not saying that that is something that the city is going to do, but this will allow me to work with staff to gather information so we can come back to y'all. And then you as the council can decide to take the next step, if that is the next step. And so that really is what this process is, and that's what you're going to be hiring me to do, is to work with the staff, gather the information, financially, the status, you know, the lost and unaccounted for, all these other things, the regulatory requirements, which are the largest, biggest burden. Skilled labor and the regulatory burden is one of the larger issues for municipal gas systems in particular. So the first phase would be to do the research, gather the information, bring all the facts, and then y'all can decide at that point whether you want to take it to the voters. And again, you know, with y'all's legal advice, you know, there would probably be a vote up or down from your citizens to whether they keep the utility, or to give you the authorization to sell it or to not. And then if they don't give you the authorization, then that's pretty much back to y'all as to what y'all want to do as a council, if you want to keep on going. The city of Stockdale did that about 3 years ago, and they decided that they went back to the voters for a second time, and they did get approval the second time. So, of course, the finances were a little bit more difficult. The driving cost of natural gas, because Texas is a big exporter now, is really costing gas utilities a lot of money to buy the wholesale gas and sell it to its customers. And rate increases are a burden as well. So after we decided we get the voter approval, we bid for a request for proposals, and then we would review that, then come back, and then again, the council has the final say as to whether they want to accept bids or not.
Council, I just dovetailing off of that information, you know, again, it's gonna rest on you guys. It's gonna rest on what you wanna do, but it's going to provide the information so that you can make a decision. And then if it's not what the council wants to do, then it never goes to the vote. But if it approves, then it is, but you're going to be provided the information. The little that I know about the system, as an example, the gas system cost us $750,000 to get 830 some odd customers. The sewer system cost us $500,000 for almost 3,000. And again, part of that is our cost of goods sold, which 300-something thousand is what we buy in gas. So it's just, you can see the economics of scale, just make it that it's worthy, in my opinion, to research it and see. I've heard, in my brief experience in city municipalities, I've heard that it is difficult to try to make money. I will say, and I'm not gonna put words in our developer's mouth, but he said it's possible, if the city wants us to put gas in, we'll certainly consider that. He's gonna get reimbursed for it anyway through the church. So that could be something. So anyway, we're gonna vote on it in a minute, y'all's call, but hold on just a second. Mr. Leal, you have a question?
I have a couple of questions. One, I know the peanut was a big consumer as well, and I know that we had a lot of loss at the peanuts. Did we ever address it? Did we ever figure what was, as far as money wise, because I know there was a balance, so Also, how often should we be calibrating the AMRs? And have they been calibrated?
The calibration, I have to really use that calibration on the AMRs.
Okay, you have a question?
How often do you have to calibrate the AMRs?
Every year?
Are they being calibrated every year?
Are they being calibrated every year?
So all the meters in the city of Pearsall have been calibrated yearly.
The meters or the AMR, the transducer?
Mark, yes, correct, correct.
Just the transducers, not the actual meters themselves though? Are you calibrating the actual meters?
The big meter